Hello, everybody. Welcome to Travel Marketing and Media Town Hall. Today is Sunday, May 25th, and we don't usually do a town hall on a Sunday, but I thought, you know what? Why not? Why not? Because we have travel advisors and travel agents who literally do this 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. But then we have our weekend warriors who are building businesses on the weekend, and the only time that they have to do things is on the weekends. We have travel advisors and agents who are traveling all the way around the world. So does it even really matter what time we do it? And then we have a whole bunch of people who actually just catch the replay as well. So everything is good. Everything is well. We have some great questions to answer tonight. I actually think that the two questions that we have will get us through our 30 minutes together. And if it doesn't, then I'll take some questions live from anyone who's watching. But go ahead and let me know in the comments where you are watching from. And maybe even tell me how long you've been in the travel industry. That would be super cool. And if you're new, let us know that you're new as well. So we are actually, this is a really interesting episode of Travel Marketing Town Hall because we are live from Africa this week. My family and I have been traveling in Namibia for the last week. We have been filming an episode for season 2 of Authentic Escapes. Season 1, Before You Ask, is not out yet. It comes out later this year, but we're already on season 2. So we filmed all of this week in Namibia, and we start filming in 2 days in South Africa. So yeah, Travel Marketing Town Hall still continues no matter where in the world I am, and I'm so happy to be your travel business coach and to help you to grow your travel business. So I'm going to do the very first question that I have is from Amy, and Amy's question is kind of long, but I think I love it because even all the parts of it, because I think a lot of you will resonate with this. So yes, go ahead and if you're live on the chat or watching the replay, feel free to comment. If you're not sure where to comment, you can also hover over the YouTube logo and that'll help get you to the comments as well. So it says here, Amy, this is Amy's question. Hi, Sandra. I'm on the verge of launching email marketing using the All Access Pass, which is one of our products. And I have completed all the steps. I've done the travel business blueprint. Well done. Website training. Amazing. I have a lead magnet that I'm very proud of. Love it. And I'm waiting feedback from 3 of my ideal clients. So Amy's got a lead magnet, which is basically something of value that she puts out into the world in exchange for their email address. So it could be an article, a video, an audio episode. It could be anything really, but that her audience would find valuable. So valuable that they'd be willing to give their email address for it. And so it sounds like from Amy's beginning of Amy's intro to her question, she's given this piece of valuable information to 3 people who are her ideal client, and she's getting feedback from them, which we always recommend. She says, at the same time, I'm doing well with referrals for my business, and I have a brand new group of clients that have recently been introduced to me. All 3 are private jet owners. Client who referred them is HNW, high net worth, I think that stands for HNW, and books ultra luxury travel with me. I found myself a bit confused about how to play this. I'm not sure that these high net worth clients are interested in authentic luxury travel with a sense of place. They might be, of course, but the client who referred them all stays at 4 Seasons everywhere she goes, so she isn't. How do I go about blending the two so that I'm consistently showing up for everyone, not just people who sign up for my lead magnet, but so it's relevant to everyone? I have a welcome or nurture series in my email sequence, which is all about authentic travel and the value of using a travel agent, which leads into weekly content. My lead magnet is an authentic journey through Italy, staying in Belmont and Rosewood hotels. Please help to guide me through before I get this bit wrong. Thank you, Sandra. Well, firstly, Amy, you've done a lot of work. You've done exactly what, as a business coach, I tell everybody who comes to Travel Marketing and Media, whether you're just finding us for the very first time, maybe you've never heard of me before, it's the first time you're seeing this space, or we know each other pretty well because you've been around for years. I tell you all the same thing. Start with the business blueprint. It is free. You go to travelmarketingandmedia.com/blueprint. It is absolutely, I'm going to put the link up here on the screen. It is absolutely the very best place to start because it's going to get you started on the things that are most important. So these are 4 to 6 steps that I have outlined that I believe, not only as your business coach, not only as a 26-year marketing and travel industry expert, but also as a really successful business owner myself. We do not have a lack of clients at Travel Marketing and Media. We have clients who have been with us for almost 8 years, as long as we've been in business. And we have thousands, actually tens of thousands of clients that have paid for our services over the last 8 years, and our retention rate's really high. I tell you this to say that we are teaching you in the blueprint exactly what we do for ourselves. And it starts with working out your numbers. So start with the commission calculator. You can download it for free. There's a video showing you how to use it. So Amy did that bit. The second bit is that she planned out her content. She planned out her content to match her commission calculator. So I'm just going to give the example because I'm here in Africa right now. If you're wanting to sell a ton of Africa, which I swear to you all, if I started selling travel again, if Anthony and I all of a sudden turned around and decided to start a travel business right now and a new travel agency, I say I don't want to do it anymore because it's how I started my career and I love what I do now, but never say never, right? I will tell you that we would specialize in Africa. We would specialize in authentic experiences. We would specialize in parts unknown, my mentor Anthony Bourdain, of the world. And Africa would be one of the biggest areas that we would specialize in, especially now that we spent this last week in Namibia. We've done a safari. We've stayed at a lodge. We're going out to do our second safari this week in a different country. If I did my commission calculator from the blueprint, it would tell me exactly how many clients we would need to bring to Africa. It would tell me the average cost of a safari. When you see them, you'll be like, holy moly. It will tell you the average commission. You'll be like, wow, cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And then it will tell you how many clients you need to have. This is exactly what Amy did. Then you would go and do the content planner, because the content planner would have to align the content that you're putting out into the world, whether you have a travel blog, articles on your website, a podcast, videos, social media, whatever it is that you're putting out into the world, it would have to align. So in this like dummy business that I'm talking about, if Anthony and I decided to start Macklemore Travel and we decided to specialize in Africa, we would say probably specialize in Southern Africa. And from the equator down, I would say, to begin with, and then we'd expand into Northern Africa and the Middle East. And we would have to make sure that the countries that we want to sell and the lodges that we want to sell and the experiences that we want to sell are all showcased through our content. Now, we're not big on social media. We are more about blogging and Pinterest. And so that's what I would do if I was a travel advisor. Very, very definitely. I would not mess with social media. I would layer in social media when I had enough traffic coming to my website through Pinterest and organically, and maybe through ads. But so you would do your content planner. That's exactly what Amy's done. And now Amy's found that she also specializes in authentic experiences, like this business that I'm telling you about. And she has now found herself with people coming through the door. And here is where Amy is stuck. And she's wanting coaching today. And I'm going to give it to her. Amy is stuck because Amy's basically saying, I've got these clients that have just come through, private jet company owners, or private jet owners. They're in their own jets. And I don't think that they're interested in the same type of travel that I want to book, because one of them just stays at the Four Seasons all the time. Amy, my friend, you are making a lot of assumptions about what your clients would be interested in based on a hotel that they stay at. So I love a bougie hotel. I love a modern, expensive, all like super fancy hotel. However, my travel style is that I only like to have authentic experiences. The Four Seasons probably is not going to give you an authentic experience because you're looking at that Four Seasons standard, that Four Seasons consistency all the way. And do you know why? you probably assumed that they wouldn't be interested in authentic experiences because they went for a chain hotel. Yes, it's luxury, but they went for something that is consistent from one country to the next. Maybe the menu's a little different, maybe the decor is a little different, but that Four Seasons experience is pretty much going to be the same everywhere. I think that where people stay, where travelers stay, is not indicative of the type of activities they like to do or the type of things they like to do during the day. I literally think that where people stay matches the type of place that they live, or they just like to put their head down at night. I always want to be in a very comfortable accommodation. Where we are staying right now is literally a 2-bedroom with a kitchen hotel. Like, it literally, this is the living room behind me. It has a full kitchen. It has a laundry. It has 2 bedrooms in a hotel with a concierge and a reception and a gym. It's super fancy, but it doesn't match my travel, my experiences that I like to have during the day. During the day, I do not want to go to Starbucks. I literally have seen one Starbucks the whole time we've been in Africa. We've been here for over 3 weeks now. I have seen a couple of chain restaurants. We've stayed well away from them. I will tell you the weakness that we had is that Anthony and Houston found Krispy Kreme on our second day, and they have indulged in a couple of donuts here and there, but that's not a bad thing. Everything else that we've done, we've stayed away from all the chains, and we've wanted to have we've wanted to have authentic experiences during the day, luxury accommodation at night. So here in this situation, Amy, I think that you've jumped the gun a little bit, and I think that you've assumed they fly in private jets. They own their own private jets. These 4 new clients of yours own their own private jets. And they say in Four Seasons, they might not be interested in what I'm doing. So let me give you an example. Literally, Anthony, how many nights ago did we meet Karen and Bill? 3 nights ago. Karen and Bill from Arizona. We met them at one of my top 5 places on the planet now, which is Namibia, and we were staying at a place called Kwesi Dunes. I would love y'all to look it up, please. It's Kwessi. To tell you that we cried when we left, tears, like consistent tears for 5 minutes. Anthony cried, might not admit it. I cried, Houston cried, and then the staff cried because they all went outside, about 15 of them, and sang and played the drums as we left. Anthony, Houston, and I met this couple 2 nights ago called Karen and Bill. And they were from Arizona, and they had flown in on a private jet that they had chartered. And I thought that they just took the private flight from Windhoek, the capital of Namibia, down into the Namib Desert where we've been. And then I met this guy the next day. He was talking to some of the lodge guides in a really way that was very casual. And I said, "Are you a guest, or do you work here?" And he said, "Yeah, I'm a guest." And he didn't say much more, but I felt like he just knew everyone who worked there really well. Fast forward, it turns out that that's Karen and Bill's private pilot for their private jet, but they hired him on a retainer to fly them all over Africa because they'd been in Botswana, they were now in Namibia, and they were then headed back home again. And Karen and Bill only do authentic experiences during the day. We got talking on all the different things that we've done. They've done a bunch of river cruising. They are very interested in our friends and family trip that we have in June to Egypt next year. They just are really into local authentic experiences. So I would say, Amy, that you are absolutely jumping the gun. I don't know if anyone else has any other feedback that they want to put in. I would say that your next step, you're asking me, what should you do? I would say your next step is to go to these new clients of yours and listen to this, Amy. Write this down. I would say to ask them, I have a list of amazing experiences that might be of interest to you on your trip to insert destination. They are very authentic, and they align with they'll help you to better learn and experience the culture, the people, the food, the arts, sports, whatever it is. Would you like me to go ahead and send that through to you? And maybe you just have a 1-pager. You can get ChatGPT to do up a 1-pager. Like, I'm sure if you typed into ChatGPT, please tell me some authentic experiences to have in Namibia, that it would come up a bunch of the things that we've been doing. And I think that very often we assume that people won't be interested in something because they haven't said it. But what if they don't know about it? What if you didn't know that in Namibia, one of the most authentic things that you can do is to go and spend time with the San Bushmen or the Himba tribes? What if you didn't even know that those experiences existed? Not mentioning them to your travel advisor or travel agent would be because you didn't know they existed, not because you weren't interested. Also, if you dig a little deeper and you start asking questions about what's the best vacation you've ever been on, like what are some of the most standout moments when you think back through your vacations? What are some of the standout moments? Like Anthony and I talked about it yesterday. We were driving 6 hours from the Namib Desert up to Windhoek, and we had a lot of time just to chat about life. And we both agreed that this is one of our standout top 2 vacations that we've ever taken. We have been working, but it's still a vacation. And up there with that is Egypt. And the reason is because of the experiences that we had, very authentic and cool experiences that we had. And I just think that unless you ask them, what are some of the experiences that you've had that you love, they're probably not going to tell you things that are part of your business. And here's the other thing as well. You don't need them to become your ideal client. Of course, you can choose to say no to people who don't come straight in and be like, Amy, I want to do authentic experiences. But remember that not everybody talks like that. They might just say, I want to have a fun time. I want some adventure. I want good food. And to them, that's the difference between eating good Namibian food or good local produce as opposed to going to a chain restaurant. So I think you're on the right track, my friend. I don't think you should do anything drastic. I think you should go with the flow. I think you should just roll with these new guests. But I think that you should ask them, what are some of the best experiences or the best moments that you've ever had on vacation that stand out to you, like straight away? Like I can think of one that Anthony and I had 5-6 years ago when we went to Italy and we went to Matera. And Matera is where they filmed Wonder Woman, and it's the cave hotels, and it's got this incredible history. And we did a walking tour with a college professor, a university professor, who was a historian. And we're still in touch. He still follows me on Instagram to this day and sends Christmas wishes. And gosh, this was back before we even had Houston. And he still comments on Houston, like wishes him happy birthday every year to a child he's never met. That is a standout experience that we had. And we recall that experience very quickly when we're listing out our favorite things. Going to Abu Simbel in Egypt, favorite things. High tea on the Nile, favorite things. Meeting the Sam Bushman in Namibia, favorite things. Going down into Dedla Bay, down into the Namib Desert 2 days ago, favorite things. Like sundowners on safari, these, like, it's so easy to come up with these experiences. So I'm just going to wrap this question here and just say to you, I really think that you don't need to do much here. I think that you don't need to worry that these clients have come in. I think you should be so, and I'm sure you are, so grateful to have 4 private jet clients that have just come through on referral. You've earned them. It's not just luck. You've earned them because the first client will never refer anyone else unless you've done a good job. But go with the flow, ask them questions on things that they've loved, and then say to them, hey, can I make some suggestions on experiences you might be open to? And that's how you're going to either find out that they're not interested at all, they're totally interested, or they've never even heard of some of these things. Can we learn more? So a good problem to have, my friend, but I don't think you need to do too much. Okay, I have another question here. Actually, let me just see if there were any comments here. Oh, Regina, I love this comment on here. Regina says, hi. Oh, what a beautiful picture. She says, my first time getting to catch you live. I live in Dallas, Texas area, but currently watching from a cruise ship. I've been in travel for 1.5 years part-time, so still building. Yeah, I just thought doing it on a different day of the week. It actually fits my schedule better being in Africa right now to do it now. And I didn't want to cancel. And I also did think to myself, gosh, people might catch me who have never usually been able to catch me there because of the time difference. Like Deb, for example, I know you've been with us for a while. Deb's from Aloha, Hawaii, and then Sun and Sand Luxury Travel from Huntsville, Alabama. Love having you here. Okay, so I have another question, and my question is, I'm a fairly new agent that would like to do more group travel. What are your best tips and tricks for group travel, from finding groups to managing their return until they travel again? I am a process girl, me too, and would love to develop repeatable processes so that nothing goes lacking. Okay, so let me say, being a new agent or a new advisor, there are 2 types of group travel, only 2 types of group travel. One is where you build the group, and the other is where somebody else builds the group. I'm just going to keep it as simple as that. I've been in this industry for over 26 years. They are the only 2 types of group travel. You build a group or someone else builds a group. So you building a group would be like us going to Egypt in June of 2026. Anthony and I have said we're doing a friends and family trip. Whoever wants to come, this is the date, this is what we're doing. And we are responsible for letting all our friends and family know, getting them all booked, getting them on the ship. So we might just get one cabin sold, or we might get 20 cabins sold. We don't know. Thankfully, we're not doing a charter, so we're not having any level of responsibility, financial responsibility there. But that is a trip where you say, here's the group, here's the itinerary, and then you are responsible for filling it. I will tell you that if you don't have friends and family who want already spend the kind of money that you want them to spend, are already interested in the kind of travel that you want them to do, it is like pulling teeth, because you're literally sitting there on your couch by yourself thinking, who's going to book? The other type of group travel is where somebody else builds the group for you. They might come ready as a group, so it could be a family, big group of friends, or it might be somebody who just has a big audience or a big community that they can go out and say, hey, I'm doing a trip. Do you want to come with me? And then there's no pressure on you. So you can have experiences doing either or. But I will tell you the biggest mistake that I see people doing right now is when they say, I'm committing to building a group and I'm going to fill it myself, when they have no people around them who want to spend that kind of money, have those kind of experiences, or do that kind of travel. And then they're suddenly feeling stressed that they've got to fill a group. So my biggest advice to you is to answer that question for yourself. What kind of group would I like to take? Where would I like to take them? What would be the cost? What would be included? And then I want you to go out into your friends, family, workplace, community, the school gates, wherever you would go to fill that, and start asking people, hey, if I put together a group to go to Egypt in June of next year, is that something you and Bill would be interested in? Literally, that's what I would ask people. Anthony told me today in the car, he's like, oh, I'd love to come back to Namibia and bring a group of friends. And I straight away said, oh my gosh, Tony and Lisa would love it. They can afford it and they would love it. They're outdoors to the nine. And then their friends, Kenya and Wade, who have become our friends, I said, they totally love it. And then I said, oh, my teenage years best friend, Kylie, and her partner, Hamish, they would be totally in. I actually think Marianne would come, but we're not sure about her partner because he works in the mines, fly in, fly out. So I'm not sure about him. So we started going through all of our friends and family. And I was like, oh, my parents would totally love this. So we put my parents down and we started building out a list of people that we know who would love it and could afford it. Before we even think about doing a friends and family trip to Namibia, we're going to go out and ask them and be like, hey, is this something y'all would be interested in? We only really need 10 to 12 couples. But as you all know, for those of you who have done groups before, the number of people who say they're interested, the number of people who pay a deposit even, are not the same number of people that end up going. You know, they have that saying, the group, when trips make it out of the group chat, it's like a miracle. Most trips never make it out of the group chat, meaning that a lot of people talk and they don't end up going. So I don't know who asked this question. It didn't come through with a name, but whoever asked that, or for any of you who are interested in doing group trips, please start out. If you're going to fill a group yourself, start out doing exactly what Anthony and I would do. We would go to our friends and say, yo, we just got back from Namibia. If anybody would love to come with us, please let us know. We're thinking of doing a trip with friends. Here's the month. Here's the approximate price. Let us know. And you can also, if you're traveling, like, I've been posting all week on my Instagram. If you want to come follow me, I'm going to put it down in the chat for you. .com/Sandra Travel TV. And I've been posting all week, and I've even had people DM me and say, not even knowing about the conversation that Anthony and I had in the car yesterday, saying, oh my gosh, if you guys ever went back again, let me know. I'd love to come with you. Now, these people can book and go on their own. Literally, our friends are very well traveled, but I think it's that feeling of everybody wants to go and have fun with people. And that's exactly Anthony's point when he was telling me yesterday. He's like, I'd just love to not be working, not be filming, not be producing, and literally just enjoy it with friends. And that's probably why we've had friends already reach out to us in the DMs saying, if you guys go back to Africa, please sign me up. We had somebody that we know in Texas email and DM us and say, oh, I wish I'd have known you were going. I would have invited myself. So if you're going to do groups, that's the first thing to do, is just to put it out there and ask people, if I did a group on this month in this year around this price point, excluding air, would that be something you would be interested in? Here's all the different experiences you can have. The other way, obviously, to do a group is to go to someone who's willing to do that for you and have their own friends, family, community, clients, whatever. And they're two very different ways of doing a group. What I will say is what not to do. Do not sign for a block of rooms. Do not sign for a part charter. Do not hold space and put yourself financially responsible unless you get full payment. Unless you get full payment upfront. Okay, so that is all of our questions today. I've really enjoyed being with you today. I think I can take like maybe 1 or 2 questions in the chat. If anybody wants to pop a question, just do #question, pop it in the chat. I will see it come up. And I'm happy to answer if you have a quick question that I can answer, but I've really enjoyed being with you today. I love the questions about group travel. I love the question about what to do when people come to you and you feel like they're really good clients, but they don't exactly exude your niche. What should you do? And no, also, like I told Amy just to go with the flow. I wouldn't tell you that if, say, for example, you sold river cruising and someone came and said, I want to do Disney. Can you hook me up with some Disney theme park passes and hotels? If that's not what you do, then by all means, you can say, that's not what I do, but let me refer you to someone. This is what I do. So if you ever want to do that, please come. You can absolutely tell people that that's not for you. But I think in this case with Amy, she doesn't actually know that they're not for her. She's assumed that they're not for her. She's worried they might not be. She loves her niche. She loves these new clients, but she wants to make sure it's a fit. I think she's going to be fine. Okay, next question is, when will the All Access Pass open again? Great question. It opens in July. And I'm really excited because this week we've been brainstorming some one-on-one elements to the All Access Pass for those of you who are renewing or signing up again. I can't tell you yet because I haven't told my team. And if I tell you and haven't told my team, they're going to yell at me because they're going to go, why did you promise that? That's crazy. How are we going to do that for all of those travel advisors? Because at the highest we had, oh my gosh, there's literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of travel advisors in the All Access Pass. One of the benefits, of course, is that you get to send in your questions and I will always answer them. So that's really good. But I've come up with a couple of ideas of things that we could do one-on-one for you if you're renewing or doing it for the first time. So that is going to be in July. You'll be able to sign up from scratch, or you will be able to renew. Entirely up to you. Let me just see. Oh, Monica's got a good question here. Monica's question is, if I have a list of email addresses that I've been sitting on for over a year and I haven't sent an email newsletter yet, how should I reintroduce myself before starting a series? I love this question. I wouldn't make a big deal about the fact that you haven't sent anything. You know, like when somebody comes into a room, into a meeting, I don't know, for those of you who worked in like the corporate environment or had workplace meetings, or maybe not been an entrepreneur your whole life, have you ever had those experiences where you're all sat at a table having a meeting and then somebody runs in and says, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, I'm late. And then they start explaining the whole reason that they're late. Firstly, some people didn't notice that you were late. Secondly, you really don't want to draw more attention to the fact that you're late. Thirdly, most of the people in the room are not really caring why you're late, and you've literally just made a big deal about the fact that you were late. And finally, you've just interrupted the thought, the whole magic that was happening, or maybe not magic, but the work that was going on in the room. I used to work with someone who would always come into the room and announce that she was late, why she was late, and how sorry she is that she's late. And one day I pulled her aside. I'm like, girl, stop. Just stop. Nobody cares. If somebody does care, they're going to come and let you know one-on-one that you're late. I don't think you should be late all the time because it's not a good look. But every time you bust in the room and start telling everybody about the kids drop off, the dog, the traffic, the elevator, spilled coffee on your lap, all those kinds of things, I just feel like you're drawing attention to yourself that you're now the girl who's always late, that always has the long stories. So, Monica, anyone else who's been sitting on an email list and you have not been doing email marketing, I don't think you should draw attention to the fact that you haven't been doing it, because nobody has called you out on that. Go straight into your first email and say this: hi, I'm Monica from Explore with Monica. And whether you have just joined our community or you've been here for a while, welcome. Over the next few weeks, we're going to be talking about this, and this. And every month, every 2 weeks, every week, I'll be bringing you some new destinations, new experiences, And then say, next week, we'll be talking all about this. But for this week, let's dive straight in and talk about this. Just don't bring attention to the fact that you haven't been emailing. If people are going to unsubscribe as soon as they get that email, that's fine. That's just them letting you know that they don't think that you're a good fit for them, or vice versa. And there's nothing that you did that caused that other than remind someone that you're there. So that's no harm done. And everyone who does not unsubscribe from getting that email means that they're interested in what you said you're about to start sending out. So that's my advice for you. Don't be that girl who always says that she's late or that something's happened. Okay, Regina says, are you still accepting people for the Pinterest course, or is it closed? Really try and find ways to attract people. I don't know. Regina, email the team and they will help you. We are not accepting right now Pinterest VIP clients. I think that we're full. But we will open up in a couple of months' time, maybe a month or two, to be able to bring in new clients. But we are about to start working on our clients' pins and Pinterest accounts and managing their Pinterest accounts this week. Well, we've already started working, but if it's the VIP Pinterest where we take over your Pinterest and do all the work for you, then that is currently full. But if it's the Pinterest course, email the team and if they can help you out with that, they will. Okay, Monica says, that's wonderful. Thank you so much. Okay, before we go, one quick question that I want to ask you. Can you tell me in the chat, what was your hashtag best moment? So this is something that we love to do if you're just catching us live for the first time, or whether or not you're been here forever, or maybe you're watching the replay, just do hashtag best moment. And then tell me, what is the one thing that you heard today? Might have been multiple, but one is enough, that you needed reminding. Maybe it was something that you didn't learn for the first time. Maybe it was just something that you needed a reminder on. Maybe it was a new idea. Maybe it was a way of saying things, a way of thinking about things. Let me know. Was it about group travel? Was it about not announcing what you haven't been doing? Was it about how to process, how to take in clients who are not really gelling with your niche? Was it, I don't know, about maybe you're just interested in selling Africa because you're like, what is Sandra doing there? Whatever it was, let me know in the chat. I always read all of the comments in here. And I thank you for joining us for Travel Marketing Town Hall. Go and look at some of the replays of previous town halls. We have them all in there. You can go to travelmarketingandmedia.com/townhall and you can see the replays. Okay, that is all from me. It is later in the evening, so we are going to do a little bit of laundry, maybe go get some water across the street in the grocery store, and literally just probably sit on the couch and watch Netflix because we've been traveling all day. I'm going to have a quick look here at some of the best moments. Hi, Barbara. Barbara says to go back over the blueprint and also about doing groups. And Regina says her best moment was not making assumptions about what clients will be interested in. Oh my gosh, can I just also expand on that with Karen and Bill at the lodge? If I met Karen and Bill in the grocery store, I wouldn't say through mutual friends because I don't know that we have much in common, that we would have mutual friends. Maybe, I don't know, just out and about. If I met them, I would never, ever imagine that they are as well-traveled as they are, that they know so much about different cultures and parts of the world. I would never imagine that they are as wealthy as what they have to be doing what they're doing. And it just reminds you that all of those assumptions are just you and your head and thoughts with no validation and no verification. It's part of what has our country where it is right now, people not knowing, people assuming. And I really encourage you to not assume that people cannot afford things, to not assume that people will not pay for things, to not assume that anything really. at the lodge, they offered us something that they thought that we wouldn't take them up on, and it was to have a private vehicle for our 2 days of safari, 3 days actually. And we asked them for the cost, and they said, but we'll be able to accommodate you with the group if you need to do anything special for filming, so you don't have to pay for a private vehicle. When we got back the cost of the private vehicle, it was like $300. And we were like, oh, thank you so much. That perfectly suits us. We have Houston with us. He's 5.5, if you ask him. And we just didn't want our group to slow down others, and we didn't want to negatively impact people if we needed to stop and explain things. And we just, I don't know, but the fact that somebody assumed that we wouldn't want to pay it, it actually put us at ease that this service was available to us, and we straight away signed up for it. So yeah, it's definitely about not assuming anything at all. Karen says, I totally missed today's session. I'll have to watch the replay. I was just grateful to hear your voice. Karen, it's always nice to see your name. As nice as you like hearing my voice, I like seeing your name in the chat. It was a really good session today, Karen. So definitely go straight back to the beginning. I think you'll be able to watch the replay within a couple of minutes. And Deborah says, best moment was authentic experiences, not just the hotel. Oh my gosh, I will just reiterate that for anyone who came late. Do not assume that a cruise line or a hotel choice that your clients make tells you about the way that they like to travel. Okay, do not assume that, because I will pick a very specific type of hotel that doesn't tell you anything about the way that I like to travel. It just tells you where I like to sleep. Okay, and I think that that's a really, really big really big deal. Oh, Karen, I'm done. And I just saw your question come through, but I think this question is really important. So I'm just going to do it real quick. Okay. I think everybody will appreciate this. Karen says, I have a question. How much of me needs to be in my newsletter or article? I feel like my articles are more factual and not what is the balance. Karen, none of you needs to be in your article. Everybody listen to this. When I hear people say, I want to make sure that it sounds like me. I want to make sure that it's in my voice. Never, ever, ever has anyone booked travel because they read something or saw something that sounded like the author. Think about that for a second. When we decided that we wanted to come to Namibia, it was because we saw the experiences. The experiences were described to us. The experience was described. There were pictures, there was video, there was information. The information, the facts, the itinerary, the detailed descriptions is what makes people want to buy. And matching that type of information with the type of people that want to buy it will always get you the sale. Okay? I don't need a big personality or any kind of individual personality to come through in service. I need reliability. I need responsibility. But think about and I know that everybody is different. And I'll give you an example. When I walk into a store, Anthony, who knows this about me, we've been together for 10 years. I'll walk into a store, and if somebody says to me, hi, welcome. If you need anything, I'll just be over here. That is my favorite kind of customer service. Do you know what bothers me? The person who comes up and is like, oh my gosh, I love your shoes. They're so amazing. That dress would look so nice on you. And oh my gosh, I like your hair. Oh my gosh, your ring is so nice. That bothers me. It bothers me because it doesn't feel like an authentic connection. It bothers me because you came screeching at me like a hyena and I've never seen you before. It bothers me because I was very happy in my quiet space. I came in, I'm just looking. It bothers me for all these reasons. What people are looking for when they go to make a decision is information. And it's never been more evident than it is now in technology. I will tell you, Anthony and I have stopped using Google. We literally have chosen not to use Google anymore. It's a little bit of a habit we wanted to get out of. We are literally using ChatGPT instead of Google. I'll give you two examples. One, Dubai. 3.5 weeks ago, we were in the Dubai Mall and we were outside of Zara and we were trying to get to a Chinese, Asian-inspired Asian fusion restaurant in the mall. So I typed into ChatGPT, I'm outside of Zara in the Dubai Mall and I'm trying to get to this Asian fusion restaurant called X. How do I get there? ChatGPT is the new search engine. Why? Because people just want the information. They don't want to have to go to a specific place to look through the information and then go to a different website and then a different website and then a different website. So do you still invest in your website? Absolutely, because ChatGPT is scanning websites and getting websites that have got factual information, then bringing that to the person on chat. So I was really happy because it literally told me, turn around and with your back to Zara, that's what it said, turn around with your back to Zara, walk forward until you see this door. Right in front of this door is an escalator. Go down the escalator. When you get to the bottom of the escalator, turn right. Go past, walk for 2 to 3 minutes until you hit this door, and then turn left down that aisle, and it will be the third restaurant on the right. I mean, for me to find that on Google, I would have had to have gone into a website that specifically had that information. And if I didn't, I'd have to come out of that website and try another one, come out of that and try another one. So then I clicked on the source of the information that came from Google, and it had taken that information from 16 different websites, including Reddit, the mall website, and then a few others as well. And I just feel like this is the age that this is the era that we live in, Karen. People want information. They want factual information. What is it like to go to Cinque Terre? What is it like what is the best place to stay in, best area to stay in Paris? What is the best amount of time to have in Egypt? Like, nobody's replacing a travel advisor. Your websites are still critical. I just tonight, literally in the car on the way to dinner, was chatting with my friend on WhatsApp. And I said, can you type in, because I think my ChatGPT is going to be biased. Can you type in the following? Actually, I'll read it to you. And it said here, here it is here. I told her, can you please type this into ChatGPT for me and see what it brings you back? And it was something like, where is it? Oh, here it is here. I said to her, hey there, can you type this into ChatGPT for me? I'm looking for a company that can help me market my travel business. I need new leads, but also want some business coaching, some graphic design, maybe web design. And I would prefer to use a company or services that knows the travel industry well. I said, can you put that into ChatGPT? And then I put it into ChatGPT and I got back one result. She put it into ChatGPT, and I love it because travel marketing and media came up number one, and it said, this is by far the first place that you should look at. And then it said why, and then it listed travel marketing and media, KHM Travel Group, the Savvy Travel Advisor, and then travel agent coaching from somewhere. Anyway, all that to say that all of the work that I'm putting into my website to have all of these blogs, articles, podcasts, to go on other people's podcasts, when I clicked on the source, I'll show it to you. Travel marketing and media came up first. Oh, sorry. Hold on. When I clicked on the sources, which is a little link down the bottom, it didn't just come up all the stuff that's on my website, although most of them were links to my website that ChatGPT used to get that information, but also all the other websites like Asta and consortia websites that have talked about my services, podcasts that I've been on. So I think that wanting to have it in your voice is not important, and it's something all of you need to kick to the curb. It's not about you. It's about getting the information in front of people who want to buy that experience or have that travel experience. Okay. Karen says, okay, I was concerned that I needed to change because I just started putting my articles on Pinterest. It sounds like I'm okay the way I am. Yeah, you just have to really remember that people want information these days. They want correct information, accurate information. They want to deal with an expert. There's so much nonsense online these days. We all know that. So yeah, definitely as in your need to come across as the experts in travel, you really don't need to sound like an individual with a voice. You need to sound like an expert with information. Okay, hope you all had a great Travel Marketing Town Hall. I certainly did. Thank you very much for joining us. Big hugs from Africa, where we are right now. I don't know where I will be on the next town hall next month, but go back and watch some of the old ones, catch this replay, watch it again, and have a great rest of week, no matter what you choose to do. Bye for now.